Hi, my name is Matt and I live in Guangzhou, China, and I have since August of 2019. Today I wanted to go over some things about WeChat that I found out since coming here to China. So WeChat is the biggest social media app in China. It's got over 1 billion users. It started as a messenger app, but since then it has evolved into like a lot more. You can use it for so many different things, and that's what I want to talk about is some of the things that WeChat can do. So to start out, some of the most common features of WeChat that I use it for is the Messenger app and as a WeChat Pay. So for the Messenger, you can send text messages, audio messages, video calls, audio calls, all that kind of stuff. And in China, it's used for both personal and business communication. So I could talk to my friend or my family member that's here in China, or I could talk to my boss or my coworker. There's not a distinction between the two. So the next thing is the WeChat Pay. So WeChat Pay is basically like an e-wallet for China, kind of like Apple Pay is in the States. So basically you just have to connect your Chinese bank account, and right now it does have to be a Chinese bank account. They don't have the functionality for the other bank accounts like in the States or wherever. It's just got to be Chinese. So you connect your Chinese bank account to WeChat Pay, and you can pay for things like grocery store, restaurants, street vendors. A lot of different places take WeChat Pay. Pretty much everywhere in China takes WeChat Pay. So it's really a good way to not have to bring cash or credit cards or anything like that. It's really handy. You just have to have your phone with you. And I think it makes it safer here to live in China with that too. And also through WeChat Pay, you can pay your friends. So if I were to owe my friends some money, I would go onto WeChat Pay onto their contacts, hit transfer, and then just type in however much I owe them, and I would send it directly to their WeChat, and then they could accept it and put it into their bank account, and it takes the money from my bank account and puts it into their WeChat. So it's really easy. It's kind of like Venmo. So it's an easy way where you don't even have to leave WeChat. You can just get that done right away. So the next thing I want to talk about, so WeChat is a social media app. So in China, I'm sure you know that China has blocked most of the Western social media apps like Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. You can't use it here, but you can use WeChat. So one of the things that you can do for social media through WeChat is go to your Moments section, and you can post things like pictures, videos, captions, news articles, whatever you want onto your Moments. And it can be seen by all of your contacts, and your contacts can like it, and they can comment on it, and they can like interact with it with you in that way, and you can do the same for theirs, whatever they post. So it's kind of like Facebook in that way, where you can see what everybody's up to, even when you're not with them. And the next thing is the time capsules, and this is also in the Moments tab. So the time capsule is kind of like a Instagram story, where you can post like a video or a picture or something like that onto your time capsule, and your contacts can see it for a short amount of time, like probably a day or so. And another social media function that WeChat has, and I've never used this because I'm not really sure why I would want to use it, but they have it, so it's the people nearby function. And you can see a list of people that are within a 2-kilometer radius of you, and you can talk with them and send them messages and get to know people like that. Like I said, I've never used this, but if you want to, it's there. And the last social media thing that I'm going to talk about through WeChat is the ability to subscribe to different news stations. So you can subscribe to different news stations on WeChat, and they will send you like news articles and updates and things right to your message list. So I live in Guangzhou, so I subscribe to That's Guangzhou, and it gives me like current events that are happening in the city, things that, like I said, are going on in the city that I might want to go to or might want to know about or something like that. And it's just a good way to like keep up to date with what's going on in China. Okay, and the next thing I want to talk about in WeChat is the mini programs. So what a mini program is basically like a smaller app that you can use right through WeChat without having to like download those smaller apps onto your phone. And if you're like me with 32 gigabytes, it's really helpful because I don't have a lot of room, so I don't have to download anything more except for WeChat, and I can use all the things that the mini programs offer. I'm just going to go through a list of some of the mini programs that they have on WeChat that I use most often. So to start with, there's Didi, and that's basically like the Chinese Uber. So you can call a car to your location, and they will drive you to wherever you want to go, and you can pay right through WeChat Pay with that. The next is Bao Pao's, and Bao Pao's is basically the English version of the Chinese Amazon app Taobao, and it basically works just like Amazon. So you order things online, anything from like groceries to home goods to clothing, whatever you want, and it's sent directly to your apartment. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Meituan. Might be my favorite because it's the food delivery app. So basically it just gives you a list of restaurants that are in your area, and you can pick whichever restaurant you want, and then in that restaurant it gives you a list of all the food that they have, so you can pick whichever food that you want, and a driver will pick up that food from the restaurant and deliver it right to your door. So it's really easy. It's like Uber Eats in the States, where you can just order online and the food's brought directly to you. You don't even have to leave your house. The next app that I've gotten into recently, so I was recently staying in downtown Guangzhou, and they have there, and in most metropolitan areas in China, they have bike rentals that you can have. So the bikes will just be lined up on the sidewalk, and what you do is you go up to the bike. There will be a QR code on the bike that you scan through WeChat. WeChat will bring up that bike's mini program, and the bike will unlock, and all you have to do is you can ride the bike wherever you want to go, and then when you're done you lock the bike back, and you can pay right through WeChat Pay through that mini program on WeChat. So it's really helpful, especially since the metro doesn't go everywhere. DD can be expensive, so it's a cheaper alternative to some of the other things without having to walk. And the next mini program that I'm going to talk about is the Suikong code, Suikong health code. So this has really come about since the virus outbreak. It basically takes your cellular data information, and it can show like where you've been and who you've been in contact with. And it also lets you put in your own information, so like you can put in your temperature, your location, how you're feeling, things like that. And then you show this code to the security guards that are outside of most restaurants and stores before you're let into the building, so that way that security guard knows whether or not you should be allowed into that building depending on your health information. Some of the features that are available on WeChat, I haven't really used this because there's other things that I can use, but you can do it on WeChat if you want, is search and buy plane and train tickets. You can search and buy hotel stays, and you can buy movie tickets right on WeChat. And like I said before, all those things you can pay directly through your WeChat Pay. You don't have to put in a credit card, you don't have to, send a check or something. You can just pay right on WeChat. It's really convenient, really easy. And this last section that I'm going to talk about is just some random cool things that I really like about WeChat that you can do on here. So to start is you can pay your mobile phone bill right onto WeChat. So what happens is I will get a text message sent to my phone that says your data is about to run out. And so I go onto WeChat, I go into WeChat Pay, hit mobile top up, and I select whichever phone plan that I have. So I think it's 100 RMB for 1 month or something like that. I select that, and then I pay right through WeChat, and my mobile data is renewed for that month that I have it. It's really convenient. You don't have to call anybody, you don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to do anything except for go right on your phone and pay it, and it's really convenient and really simple. The next thing that is super helpful living in China is the translation features that WeChat has. So there are two different things that WeChat can do with translation. So to start is, if I, as an English speaker, were to get a message from somebody in my contacts list that was in Chinese, I could just hold that message down, hit translate, and it would translate from Chinese to English. And it does this the opposite way as well. So if I were to send something in English to somebody who only spoke Chinese, they could also translate from English to Chinese with a press of a button. And this is really helpful, especially like when you work here, because a lot of my coworkers don't speak English, so it's an easy way for us to communicate with each other without having to mime things or use like a translator app that might be more difficult. We can just text each other. And the second thing that WeChat does to translate is you can either upload or take a picture on WeChat, and it will scan for written language, and it will translate either from Chinese to English or English to Chinese. So for example, if I went to a restaurant and they only had the menu in Chinese, I could take a picture of that, and it would scan that written language, and it would translate from Chinese to English, and then I could figure out what I want to eat and order it. So that's really helpful living in China and not being able to speak or read the language very well. And the last thing that I want to talk about that WeChat can do is it can save files and pictures in your favorites tab. And this is helpful if like your coworker send you a really important file and they say, do not lose this, you will need it later. You don't want to like put it somewhere in your phone that it could easily get lost or misplaced or whatever. It's going to be right on WeChat in your favorites tab. You can go and access it anytime you want. So that's a really helpful thing that you can do with WeChat. Okay, so that's all I have for WeChat. I'm sure there's a lot more that I could have talked about because WeChat has so many different things that you can do. I use it every day while I'm here, literally every day. And I've almost found something new that you can do with it. Like, I feel like I find something new that you can do on WeChat like every day, especially with those mini programs. But yeah, so I just wanted to show that it's not just a messenger app, it can do a lot more. And if you are considering moving to China, you will 100% use this when you get here. So it might be good to get some idea of what it can do. And I hope it was helpful and informative. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.